Please help me to welcome our moderator, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, with some round of applause. May I also request 𝗖𝗍𝗃 Prasad, Chief Technology Officer, Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. A round of applause. Now, may I request you all have to, first of all, help me to welcome these wonderful esteemed speakers on stage. Come on, vibration actually reach, trust me, vibration is going to reach and they will be feeling more productive and, more, inspiring and encouraging. So please help me to welcome 𝗖𝗍𝗃 Chief Manager and alternate CISO, Grind Controller of India Limited. May I request Sanjeev, Bhumbuck, General Manager, ENT Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, Mr. Dipesh Jain, Deputy General Manager and CISO, Power Finance Corporation of India, Swarup Das, DGM, a round of applause, Sanket Kumar Jain, Lokesh Sharma, and Prasun Talukdar. So, you can see all these distinguished personalities all together on stage. I think this is one of the best moments of this conclave. We are really excited, we are thrilled to hear some productive discussion from them. Now I hand over the stage and the mic to our moderator. Please help me to welcome once again our moderator, Ms. Madhumita Mohapatra.
I stand in between you and lunch, but I'm sure this will be a very engaging session because we have a very eminent panel with me on stage. It's a fairly large panel, and I know that we are pretty much, running behind schedule. So we will try and make sure that we are all within the timelines. So welcome panelists. I'm really, really happy to be here and very happy that I'll be moderating the panel along with all of you. And looking forward to hearing a lot of what you have to say in terms of harnessing these futuristic technologies and helping us understand how you deploy them in your respective organizations. So having said that, sirs, I would only request that you, since we have a time commitment to meet with, just restrict your viewpoints to maybe 4 to 5 minutes, and then we will go on to the next speaker. So starting with you, sir, Mr. 𝗧𝗿𝗃, you are from, So Mr. 𝗧𝗿𝗃, sorry, can everybody hear me? So in the modern landscape of governance, leveraging these digital technologies is definitely important, and I think we've seen how it enhances operational efficiencies. So sir, the first question going to you is that with all the tech advancements, how do you strike a balance between technology, regulations, and of course the systemic threats, especially in the space that we all and the times that we all live in?
Thank you, and thank you all for being here for this very wonderful session. It's a difficult task, basically, for it's balancing. This entire balancing act actually happens between 3 pivotal points. One, obviously, the end users who always are very hungry of technology. They want everything to be automated, but actually, at times, maybe we feel that they really don't know exactly to what extent their automation should go. Second, the other point of the thread is with the IT administrator, or maybe the person who is basically responsible for taking this journey of taking decisions on this journey of digital transformation. And though I really hate to say that the third point, which is basically a counterbalancing point, is people like me who work as a Chief Information Security Officer and try to always limit the technology users to that extent which do not create any threat to my organization to basically from the cyber world. Now, while we are trying to make a balance, the most important thing, at least at my organization, we try to impose are, number one, we always try to evaluate that right technology should be placed in the right place. You know, in today's world, the biggest problem is we are flooded with information, we are flooded with lot of different type of technology, different type of applications, each have its own good and bad. Now, selecting exactly what will be my right application is very important. So that is one part, because many a times we have seen we do not harness the entire potential of the application which we are leveraging. So we try to at least ensure that the majority potential of the application is leveraged, harnessed. Secondly, we try to deploy the way that there are, basically we operate the OT also, so the IT-OT convergence and all those type of things are basically limited, and the technology are implemented with the right security architecture. And last, obviously, training the users continuously from both the perspective, users of the technology and making them aware of the cyber threats. So these three balancing act we do continuously, basically.
I think very valid points. And so I would like to go on to maybe Lokesh, since you are representing ServiceNow. So the question for you is, Lokesh, with Gen AI being such a buzzword, and I think it is priority of most organizations, including which I represent, that is Deloitte, in terms of it's being touted as the biggest innovation in the market. So how is ServiceNow taking this into account while chalking out your growth strategy?
I will take a moment. I'm so sorry to interrupt. We have one more panelist here, Mr. 𝗖𝗍𝗃𝗃, AGMIT, NTPC, Inca batch. Kindly to join us on stage, sir. And Lokesh, sir, please continue. Sorry.
Sure. Thank you so much. And Madhumita, this is a very pertinent question that you said. You know, probably take a pause. So Gen AI is primarily a new buzzword, which is going ahead, and everybody is talking about it, the large language models kind of a thing, and it has become a very important aspect. But if you would like to know where exactly Gen AI is, how it all started, you know, 1950s, Alan Turing was the first one who actually said how artificial intelligence can help you. And it is very, very important, not just from a public sector unit perspective, but any organization's perspective, to use this kind of information that you have. A very important thing that we need to consider here is that the power of AI or Gen AI, as you're talking about, is totally dependent upon the platform on which it is working on. If you have garbage in, you will get garbage out. So that is where I think one of the most important aspects that needs to be taken into consideration, and probably in the panel that we had earlier, the plenary session, the people have also gone ahead and said this particular thing, that process optimization and the usage of artificial intelligence, not just in public sector, will totally depend upon how good we are able to utilize the internal resources of an organization. I'll just take one more second. In one of the organizations that we are actually working in, using this new technologies of artificial intelligence and Gen AI, we have actually optimized a process from a 3-month time frame to 3 weeks. This is Government of India that I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, that we have actually done. So power is immense, and I think everybody will have to adopt it. Some people will say that this is a buzzword. It's going to go, it was AI earlier, it is intelligence, it is dashboarding. But I would say that as early as possible, if we can adopt it, the better it is for any kind of organization. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Lokesh. And I think you're right. We have to use it to leverage and crunch our deployment timelines. From 3 months to 3 weeks is a great progress in terms of actually achieving those timelines. So going forward, may I request Mr. Jain, Sanket Kumar Jain. He is the manager of IT for Indian Renewable Energy and Development Agency. So, sir, how do you see technology shaping the future in this renewable sector?
Right. So to answer this question, we have to understand what is our target. The Government of India is ambitious of having 500 gigawatts of non-fossil energy by 2030. And today we are at 119 gigawatts. So 280 gigawatts addition in 6 years require huge technology infusion in this particular sector, because without it, it is next to impossible to achieve. Now, coming from an organization which is basically into financing the new and renewable energy sector in this country and respecting the paucity of time, I'll try to give 3 crisp use cases. One, what we have done recently is we have developed a system known as centralized project data monitoring system. Because once we expedite our process of financing this sector, then only the developers in this country can set up projects in the renewable energy domain, and then only we can achieve the target. Because developers are ready with their technology and with their roadmaps and with their DPRs. All what they need is money, which has to come very fast. And that responsibility is with IRIDA. And to make this happen, we have to expedite our appraisal process, loan disbursement process. Now going with the rudimentary way, yes, putting in best of the efforts, it is achievable, but with maybe some errors. But infusing Gen AI into this whole process would definitely going to transform. One use case I'll give is of CPDMS, that we are trying to get the data, real-time data, from the projects which we are financing in terms of their electricity generation using IoT and integrating with their SCADA systems. How it is going to help? First of all, it is going to give the whole sector 2-3 important parameters. The lean season, peak season means when you are getting more electricity, when the sun is very bright, when the wind is at the right pace to generate maximum energy. This data right now is only confined to a particular developer, but once it is centralized and consolidated at the financing level and it is shared with the ministry, wonders can be done with this data. Second thing is leveraging on the institutional memory. The organization is established in 1987, and since then a lot of data and knowledge has been accommodated within the employees of the organization. And when an employee retires after serving for say late 30 or 35 years, that employee takes away the gold mine of the knowledge which he has acquired and experience. Whatever a particular person has done in the course of his tenure as employment, that is documented in the files, but we have come up with e-files only in 2018. Prior to that, it was all paper-based. So one massive project which we have taken is to scan 5,000 files, each file having 500 pages, scanning them into PDF, and then putting in the best of LLM, NLP, and immersive reading technologies to make sure that we take out that gold mine and extract the best data, so that when a new project comes to us and we want to do the risk assessment, we get the right data from the past experience, because it is not person dependent, it is now data dependent. Third use case of Gen AI, which Mr. Lokesh has just said, we have recently been granted the Navratna status previous Friday. A very interesting example. So the primary task is to change everywhere a mini Ratna company to a Navratna company in every single document, whatever you have. We did that in all 7 days. After that, we asked a chatbot of Gen AI to deep dive into all the documents which are available, policy documents, operational documents, and we found out that despite best of the efforts, 19 documents got missed out, wherein it was mini Ratna, not Navratna. Now imagine doing all of these things without AI. Eventually, we might have come up when we actually would have looked into the document. So these 3 use cases actually, tell us that renewable energy sector is going to grow fast, but we have to infuse AI, blockchain, IoT to make sure the ambitious target of the government of India is achieved. Thank you.
Very interesting use cases, and I'm sure there's a lot to learn from how we can actually adopt and adapt to these technology innovations. So sir, going to you, Mr. 𝗖𝗍𝗃𝗧𝗿𝗃𝗃, who is the AGM of IT from NTPC, and I know that it's a very, very old organization, and you have deployed and made some very, very good implementations in the areas of ERP and other new technologies. But sir, I just wanted to ask to you, how does your organization approach the integration of these legacy systems with these futuristic technologies? Due to, you have a large technology modernization life cycle that you have to deal with. So in your capacity and in your organization, how is it that you integrate these two?
Hello. Good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon, my august audience. Actually, we have already implemented SAP 𝗖𝗍𝗃𝗃 since 2007. And you all may be aware that this SAP 𝗖𝗍𝗃 has a lifetime till 2027. So we are already in the path to migrate to S/4HANA. S/4HANA, it is a in-memory database, and the more applicable things, as Madam has told, it is an open system, and it provides a lot of tools like BTP to integrate any kind of applications into your into our bouquet. So you can add on to any kind of bucket to our application. So that is the next frame up here, and just few minutes back, we are discussing about AI, and 2 AI projects we are ongoing at NTPC right now are APR Advanced Pattern Recognition System, and another is Digital Twin. Digital Twin, we are doing it in a pilot stage right now, so we are doing it for a 500 megawatt plant, and all kind of simulation and yeah. And besides that, this AI also and analytics part also with S/4HANA, we will be delving more detail into this AI and your ML, all those things will be taken care of. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your views. So I would like to go on to you, Prasun. So Prasun is from OpenText. So my question to you is, how does your OpenText organization ensure that AI solutions adhere to regulatory and ethical standards, particularly in the context of public sector applications where data privacy and security are paramount? So how does OpenText deal with it, and you in your capacity as a leader representing there?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for being here in this particular session. So I think, AI is all about, huge amount of data which is within the organizations. So I think first and foremost thing is that, the data infrastructure which is there in an organization has to be in the proper shape. Unless that is in the proper shape, then what is the result coming out of the AI applications? Your result will be not as per the, the target objectives. And that is where I think the security comes into picture because, and the ethical part comes into picture because AI always deals with a lot of personal information, a lot of sensitive information and all, right? And unless we take care of that part of the security, then what happens is that finally the AI applications can end up doing a lot of things which is not expected. I give an example. You have, organization has got multiple data of the employees or maybe customers. Now that has got the data, things like the date of birth or the sensitive informations or some specific special dates or maybe credit card informations. Now through that you can actually create a pattern of your password. Now just think about if this information gets out of the organization to somebody, and the whole things can be majorly risky, right? That is one part of it. Second, I think on the ethical part of it, I think it is important to see that the bias of any information, or maybe the engineer who is writing the code for the AI applications, his weightage on certain parameters can actually create different kind of results. So it is important that when we build AI applications, the whole piece of infrastructure has to be properly maintained or properly done, so that when the result comes out, that result also can need to be checked whether it's how much close to the reality it is, so that you can retrain and get the result as per the standard which is maintained by the customers or the clients. And to give you examples that because we are an information management company, right? So we deal with contents of customers, and we know how much important the content is, how much sensitive the content is. So whenever we work with customers, we always recommend that first of all that data infrastructure has to be properly made. So there are platforms which coming from us like Vertica today that can actually host 96 trillion of rows into a database. Now we are just looking at the public sector undertakings in India where there are organizations who are the as large or some of the large corporates globally. Now you just think about even the mid-size PSU, their information and the amount of data they have, unless there's a proper data infrastructure, then whole things can be actually end up having a different kind of results. So we always definitely from the organization, because we deal with information and the content, and then we recommend those things so that these things are taken care from the day one, because ultimately things will be built up after that, and then you leave it to the process to get the result out of it.
Right, thank you so much. I think that's the way to do things, given that we are dealing with such sensitive information and we cannot infringe on data privacy and security. So going to Mr. 𝗧𝗿𝗃𝗃, DGM and Commercials and IT from Braithwaite. So just wanted to understand, and an organization like yours will be dealing with very many challenges. So what do you foresee as a challenge in starting and scaling AI projects?
Yeah, ours is a manufacturing industry. A majority of our product is actually wagon, and Indian Railway is our main customer. So 50% of our order comes from Indian Railways, and 70% of our revenue are generated from wagons. Right. So in the wagon sector, so we have other sectors also, as was told by our director of production, that we are also diversifying in civil and other things. But our main aim was actually to build a technology transformation. You must have a core thing. So we first have introduced an ERP, that is cloud-based ERP, which was developed by our in-house team. Wow. It was in Braithwaite is a very age-old company. It's I think in this house it is the most it is the oldest company. It was established in London in 1913. So it was taken over by Ministry in 2010. In the technology sector also, it was very, very advanced. It took the BAN legacy system in as good as in 2000. But due to some ups and downs in the organization and going to BIFR, the people who were there in implementing this BAN system ultimately left the organization. So there was a issue of actually manpower issue. Then we joined around 2014. We could see that the BAN system was working, but with the old model. So at that time, the revenue position of the company was not like that we can invest in this way. But in 2018, there was a dramatic changes that the decision was taken by management that in order to transform this to the digital transformation, we need to go for an high-end ERP. And that time we had taken different alternatives, whether we should go for one system, or we will go for SAP, or we will go for a customized application from different vendors, or we should go for our own in-house development. But the in-house development took place, and it took around 5 years to integrate all the activities, and now we are fully reliant on ERP. And next thing is that we are trying to have, because our production system is a discrete production system, so different shops are there, different procedures, and starting from that is preparation, that is the steel is the main raw material. So steels have to be cut in a different wagon size, then needs to be the structure is to be made, then assembly has to be done, then fabrication to be done, and finally assembly and that is finishing. So we are trying that whether we can involve IoT for all these machines, which will speak, that machines will speak, because now we are doing something but machines cannot speak. So if IoT enabled things, the sensors we can install in this here, and we can know then we can also do the predictive maintenances. And another thing is that one more problem in our manufacturing is that after production, warranty support. That is actually, if we can do this, when this machines will be in breakdown condition, when the wagons will be, what are the data of the wagon, if we can collect this, then it will be a good year for us. Third thing is that we are trying that whether supply chain can be controlled to blockchain. These are the things we are trying to incorporate. And we have implemented the cyber security also. We have faced various constraints, because in implementing cyber security, you will have to compromise to some, your privacy and all these things, and some resistances were also there. But due to the able handling of the situation by the management, we are able to overcome the situation and are going forward.
Thank you, sir, for your getting and implementing such large-scale projects in the manufacturing sector. So next, I would like to go to Mr. Sandeep, who is GM from ONGC. So, sir, just wanted to check, because yours is a very vast organization, and considering the gigantic scale of operations that most of the PSUs and especially ONGC operates at, how do you foster a culture of innovation and continuous improvement to encourage employees to embrace new technologies? because it isn't easy to accept something that is, deployed and accepted, and taking it forward to make it a successful implementation and deployment.
Thank you, madam. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Sanjeev, SOC Head, CISO Office, ONGC. ONGC is in a business, it's a very vast organization, and it's in a upstream oil and gas business. Basically, we are into exploration of crude and exploitation of the crude oil. That's the main business we are into, and the business is very risky, and we need to have an edge. So a long time back only, our leaders in 90s, they piloted the project to bring the business processes to digitalization, and we started with our HR and finance and material management, and digitalize those processes using an SAP ERP solutions. Then in 2002, we went full way, and all the business processes of ONGCs were basically taken over and were digitalized, and we adopted ERP in a big way. In 2009, we became one of the biggest SAP implementation, I think, in Asia at that time. Simultaneously, as we were digitalizing, we were also doing digitalization of our fields. In 2005 only, we digitalized all our field. We adopted SCADA and DCS for all our field, all instrumentation, the pneumatic instrumentation, we changed to this. And ONGC, there is a pressure, always a pressure because ONGC has to stay at the top, and the culture is like that. We have to innovate to remain on the edge. So that is a culture, and that is we have been doing in every of our fields. In fact, in 1980s also, we had one of the biggest supercomputers. One of the biggest mainframes from IBM was there, and we were processing the in-house processing all the geological data. Today, these new technologies which we are adopting, we started our journey with AI in 2020, 21, and in 2022, we developed in-house a tool, a seismic tool, which is an AI-driven tool for consumption in ONGC. And we adopted AI-driven technology for seismic requirement, which is a very, very complex calculation and takes a huge amount of time. So that is, AI has been adopted there very judiciously. AI has also been put into a very useful way in ONGC that we adopted it into our plants. We are monitoring the safety of the plants because ONGC is a very risky business, oil and gas. So we are monitoring the safety of the plants using AI, and that was done in collaboration with IIT Madras. Then we adopted AI in our fire safety systems. We have the AI built into our system. If there is any fire, that it is alerted to us. We are now exploring the areas of using generative AI in using in faster communication for the employees, so that how the normal employee of ONGC will be using generative AI to do faster communication within ONGC among the groups. And we went into IoTs. We adopted IoTs, all our wells. We are deploying IoTs at the wells, and we are doing data analytics of that the data coming from that. And there are so many things that has been there.
Thank you so much. I think it's an eye-opener to understand what ONGC in such a large organization has done in terms of AI deployment. The last panelist who I'd request to speak, and Mr. Jain. He is Deputy General Manager and CISO, Power Finance Corporation of India. So, sir, just wanted to understand, how do we then build trustworthy AI, and what is the potential governance mechanisms that you have deployed that enhances the transparency and accountability of using artificial intelligence?
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll speak in the context of power sector, because I belong to a organization which belongs to power sector and also BFSI sector, which gets into lending huge power projects. So the use case of AI are multifold in this power sector, starting with the land feasibility studies, project appraisals, and then predicting the lending rating of the borrowers, and all those things are very much require use of AI. But when it comes to the transparency and accountability using AI systems, I'll say that because the core strength of AI or the base of AI outcomes depends upon the source of data which it uses to train its models. And usually the data is biased in some context, maybe geographical region wise or the sector wise. So until unless the data is neutral, the outcomes cannot be neutral. So that's the biggest area where this transparency has to be there, where the data has to be very transparent, what sort of data is used to get into this AI model set. Then the risk factor is always there, that if that outcome is taken, adopted, and some action is taken, then that is there. Then after the control of data, you have to be sure about the results, that the results are validated with the real results you have in hand, so that that AI set is verified that whatever is thrown at you is not a garbage, but a real usable outcome, which can be, you can utilize in real decision making. And apart from that, I'll say that the regulatory framework using AI to use AI systems is still in infancy stage, and there has to be a very robust legal and regulatory framework which can actually audit the AI systems being used in such critical infrastructure. And once that arrangement, that entire framework is there, then I think the government organizations are in more comfortable and confident state to adopt these AI systems. And I'll just give an analogy with the cloud area, which was like a scary thing for most of government organizations 10 years back. But after MIT and NIC did a lot of documentary work and made a framework, published the guidelines, then I think government sector started adopting the cloud models, and now I think that's a very normal thing to adopt a cloud framework. Similarly, moving ahead, I'll say that AI, to encourage government systems to use AI systems with a transparency and accountability, that entire ecosystem has to be matured enough. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I really like to thank all the panelists, because you must understand that they all are representatives of really mammoth organizations. And they have utilized these technologies to make a customer experience or the outcomes in a more agile and constructive manner by the utilization of these technologies. So thank you all, invaluable learning experiences for all of us that you've shared, and truly appreciate your time and making this panel discussion very lively. Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, a round of applause. So I request all the panelists and moderator kindly stay on stage just for a moment. Thank you. First of all, a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for this phenomenal presentation. It was very relevant. Special thanks to our moderator for moderating it so well and maintaining the time. Now may I request Mr. 𝗖𝗍𝗃𝗃, Solution Consultant, Country Director, OpenText, kindly be on stage and help us to felicitate and express our gratitude to our wonderful STEAM speakers along with our moderator. A round of applause for Mr. 𝗖𝗍𝗃𝗃, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with the moderator, Madhumita Mohapatra. Please, a round of applause for our moderator. Well, now I will request Lily Prasad. Lily Prasad, kindly come forward. Okay. Avnish Watts. Sanjeev sir. Dipesh Jain. Dipesh Jain. Swarup Das. Sanket Kumar Jain. 𝗖𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Lokesh Sharma. CPR Das. Prasun Talukdar. Mr. Prasun Talukdar. Also, I request you all, let's have one group photograph. I request all the panelists along with our moderator, let's have one good group photograph.
अभी पहले वो है
We will pause for a group photograph. I request all our esteemed panelists along with moderator and Mr. Manish. All together, let's have one group photograph. Ma'am, please proceed. And after this, ladies and gentlemen, I think we all are waiting for Apple Watch. What do you say? Yeah? Did you scan? Did you fill the required details? Everybody? How many of you have done already? Can you just raise your hand and say hi to me? Yes, lovely. Sir, you haven't done? Everybody? What do you say? Sir, have you done? Have you done? So all you have to do, you have to just scan that barcode which is on your table. And now I request Mr. Amit Nanthani, Director Sales from OpenText, kindly be on stage. And he has a phenomenal news for all of you. I am thrilled actually. Okay, for Apple smartwatch, there should be at least one cheer, everybody. What do you say? Hip hip. Are you excited? I think your excitement is there and my excitement is there. Yeah, I am way more excited, but I can't participate. But please tell me, ladies and gentlemen, are you excited? I can't hear you. Are you excited? You know, if you are excited, you are vibrating in a certain frequency, and that frequency is going to match the frequency of Apple Watch. So be more excited, join us, clap your hands and make some noise. Let's have some cheers, everybody. Are you excited? Lovely. All over to Mr. Amit.
Good afternoon all, and all the best to all the participants who did the requisite. Okay, here we spin. Is there a tie? Anupam Chatterjee B, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited.
Some round of applause, come on everybody. Congratulations.